And the goal for this workout is relative strength, absolute strength, and hypertrophy. And depending on how long you rest, that's going to dictate. So, whatever your primary goal is, that's going to dictate how long you rest. For myself, and now we're going to go ahead and get started with the workout. And today, since it is the start of a new routine, we're starting something different. And I'm going to be doing the 4-8-12 method. I'm going to explain the method a little bit later on. Right now, we're just going to get warmed up. And for the first exercise, I'm going to go ahead and just warm up on barbell back squats. I'm going to warm up with just the bar by itself. We're going to do 10 repetitions. Then I'm going to do 8 repetitions with 135, 6 with 185, 4 with 225. Then I'm going to start doing singles. I'm going to do a single with 255, and then 275 is probably where I'm going to do my top set at. With regard to the working sets, because today is the first workout in this new routine, I'm not going to max out. I'm going to gradually build over the course of the next 6 workouts. So today, everything's going to be a little bit lighter. And if you do try this routine, you don't want to max out on the first workout. You want to give yourself room where you could improve. So go a little bit lighter on the first workout and then gradually increase the intensity to where you are really pushing yourself to failure somewhere around the midway point of the actual workout routine. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. For the barbell back squats, I'm just going to be doing regular barbell back squats. I'm not doing heel elevated this time, or at least not for the very first exercise. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 10 repetitions. And right now, the knees are feeling pretty good. These last 3 to 4 workouts, the knees have been feeling amazing. So I'm pretty happy with that. And because the knees are feeling pretty good, I'm not going to take too long of a pause at the bottom. I'm still going to pause just so that everything it's nice and lubricated and I could get a good feel for the movement. But overall, I'm not going to be taking these insane 5-10 second pauses at the bottom of each rep. Got 5 sets or 5 repetitions left to go. And then we're going to go ahead, pop on a couple of blues, and we're going to go ahead and finish up the rest of the warm up. But that's pretty much what we're going to do. I'm only going to warm up for the first exercise. With regard to the 4-8-12 method, it's a tricep. So we're going to be doing 3 exercises back to back. But by the time I finish up with the squats, my legs are going to be nice and warmed up. So I'm not going to have to warm up on the rest of the exercises. So the only warm up is going to be for the barbell back squats. And I like to do those pyramid warm-ups where I start with a higher number of repetitions and then go lower and lower on the repetitions. That way I am able to simultaneously warm up the joints while not fatiguing the muscles. Because if I do 10 repetitions on all of my warm-up sets, by the time the working sets come, my legs are already going to be fatigued. But that is the plan. It's going to take a couple seconds, then we're going to go ahead and bust out the second warm-up set. And now for the second warm-up set, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do 8 repetitions on this set. Again, I like to go lower on the repetitions with each warm-up set. That way I don't fatigue the muscle. I just want to get everything nice and warm. That way I can save my strength for the working sets, especially for a workout like this. For a workout like this, where we're doing a lot of repetitions and also those first sets are going to be very, very heavy. We don't want to do an insane amount of training volume leading into the actual working sets. Otherwise, we're going to be too fatigued and we're not going to get an effective workout. So with each warm-up set, we're going to be doing less and less repetitions. And the goal for this workout is relative strength, absolute strength, and hypertrophy. And depending on how long you rest, that's going to dictate. So whatever your primary goal is, that's going to dictate how long you rest. For myself, my primary goal is relative strength. So I'm going to be resting on the longer side of the actual rest periods. I'm going to give you guys some breakdowns with regard to the rest periods later on. But if your goal is relative strength, you're going to take a longer break. If your goal is absolute strength, it's going to be somewhere in the middle. And if your goal is hypertrophy, it's going to be on the lower end of the rest periods. The rest periods are going to be anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. So for relative strength, I'm going to be resting about 5 minutes in between each set. If your goal is absolute strength, meaning you want to get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, you could rest closer to that 3-minute mark. If your goal is hypertrophy, so your main objective is just to build muscle, you could rest closer to that 2-minute mark. But we're going to take a couple seconds And then we're going to bust out warm-up set number 3. And now we're going to go ahead, do 6 repetitions for warm-up number 3. We're not going to pause for too long at the bottom position because now everything's feeling pretty nice and warm. So just going to go down and just pop right back up. When you are warming up, depending on your starting level of strength, that's also going to dictate how many warm-up sets you do. The stronger you are, the more warm-up sets you're going to want to do because you're going to be lifting a heavier weight. Whereas if you're a brand new beginner, you could get away with 3 or 4 warm-up sets getting into the actual top set. But again, the bigger you are, the stronger you are, the more warm-up sets. So if you are somebody who could squat 500 pounds for sets of 4, then you would probably want to do a good 6 to 8 warm-up sets. If you're somebody where your max squat is 135, you could get away with a couple of warm-up sets. But right now, we're just going to go ahead and pop off these greens. Then we're going to put on a couple of blues. And we're going to do 225 on the 4th warm-up set. And we're going to go ahead and do 4 repetitions. But I'll see you guys when it's time for warm-up set 4. And now for this 4th warm-up set, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 4 repetitions. Right now, everything's feeling pretty good. Knees are feeling great. Low back is feeling great. And we're just going to set up for warm-up number 5. For warm-up number 5, I'm going to add 15 on each side. So we're going to go 255. And then I don't know if I want to keep it really nice and light and just do 275 for this very first workout, or depending on how 270 or how 255 goes, if it feels really, really nice and smooth, I might just do a single with 275 and then maybe go up to 285, 295. I'm playing it by ear today. Again, first workout, so I don't want to max out. Because it's the first workout, I want to give myself room to improve. So I'm going to start out a little bit lighter. And then by the end of the workout, I want to max out and go really, really heavy. So probably somewhere around the 3rd workout in this training phase is when I'm really, really going to start to get heavy. But for today, I just want to take it nice and light and kind of gauge what the weight I should be using is going to be at. We're going to go ahead, do a couple for warm-up set number 5. And right now, everything's feeling pretty good. So let's just quickly bang out these last couple warm-up sets. 255 felt really, really comfortable and easy. So I think today we might go a little higher than 275. For 275, just going to be doing, let's do a single. And then from there, I'll decide if I want to go 285 or 295. I think, you know what? Forget what I think. Let's really quickly bang out a single with 275, and then, based off of how that feels, then I'll let you guys know what I think about the actual working set, if I want to go a little bit heavier or go nice, comfortable 285. We just got going to do a single with 275. And I think we're going to go 295. That felt really, really easy. So no point in going with 285 because even though I don't want to max out, at the same time, I don't want to pick a weight that's too light because I do want to have it be somewhat challenging. So now all of the warm-up sets have been completed. And since all of the warm-up sets have been completed, let's discuss the method a little bit more. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members-only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member-only videos.